Hello everyone, children. Today again we are here with your ongoing chapter, that is how do organism reproduce. In this video we are going to discuss about the mode of sexual reproduction. One of the another category of the reproduction, that was the asexual mode, that we have already discussed in the previous videos. In that I have told you about the different mode of asexual mode in unicellular and multicellular organism. So we are done with that. Now today we are going to start with the sexual mode of reproduction. If we talk about the sexual mode, I told you there is an involvement of the two parent, right? Along with that there is a formation of a gamete, means gametes are required for the sexual mode of reproduction, right? And there is a what? There is a division take place, mitosis as well as meiosis. Mitosis as well as meiosis. So these are the two ways by that sexual mode is completed. Along with that, if you talk about the sexual mode, there is what? There is a variation come out. Right. Now, if we talk about the sexual mode, now there is what? Two parents involvement, formation of a gamete. Now, when we talk about the formation of gamete, that time in a simple organisms, gametes are very simple. Means there is a no differentiation between the male and female gametes. Simple germ cells or gametes we call them. So simple germ cells, there is a no differentiation between the male and female germ cell, right? But when we talk about the complex organism, in that case there is a differentiation between the male and female germ cells. Male germ cells are, or you can say male gamete also. So male gametes or male germ cells are small in size and mostly they are motile, right? And when we talk about the female germ cells, right, female germ cells, or you can say female gamete also. So in that case, what is this? This is a big in size, bigger in size, having a large storage food, and along with that they are non-motile mostly. So this is the differentiation between the male and female germ cells in case of complex organism, right? So when the male and female germ cells fuse together, so that time there is a process that we call as a fertilization and syngamy. Another name of the fertilization is a syngamy also, children. So and after that there is a formation of a new generation take place, right? So if we talk about the male and female, so in case of complex organism it is different, in case of simple organism it is almost similar. Now there is a difference between this mode in the plants and animals. If we talk about in plants have a different type of structure for this process, and if we talk about the animals, so from simple organism to the complex organism, they are having a different type of parts in their body for the sexual mode of reproduction, right? So in our chapter we are going to differentiate between the two, that is the sexual mode in plants and sexual mode in the animals, or you can say basically we will talk about the human beings. So first we will take what? Sexual mode in plants. So sexual mode in plants, if we talk about, so in that case there is what? Now principally there is a need of what? Formation of a gamete, right? Formation of a gametes. And second step for the sexual mode is what? Fusion of the gamete. Right, so these are the two things involved in the sexual mode. When we talk about the plants, in plants main reproductive part is what? That is a flower. Right, and in those plant, flower is having actually four parts, you know very well from your previous classes also, that is what? Calyx, corolla, or you can say sepals, petals, right, androecium and gynoecium. These are the four parts that is present in the flower of the any plant. Any plant, if we talk about the flower, means we are basically talking about the angiospermic plant. So those plants which are wearing the flower, we call them as an angiospermic plant, right? So calyx, corolla is what they actually help in the this process. So we call this as a accessory whorls, right? And these two is structured together, we call it as a reproductive whorls. So this is the two whorls that participate in the process of sexual reproduction. And if we talk about there is a two type of plants also. There is a two type of flower, basically you can say, that is what bisexual flower and the unisexual flower. Right, bisexual means when the male and female. Okay, androecium is the male part of the flower and gynoecium is the female part of the flower. When both the parts are present in the same flower, means a single flower is carrying this androecium and gynoecium together. So that time that flower is known as a bisexual flower. Common example, if we talk about the hibiscus, right, rose. Then a very common example, that is a mustard. So these are the example of what? These are the example of the bisexual flower. If we talk about the unisexual flower, means unisexual flower is those flowers which are having either they are having an androecium or they are having a gynoecium. Means in among these two, between these two part of the flower, reproductive part of the flower, one is carrying by the flower. So either they are having what? They are having androecium or they are having a gynoecium. So that type of flower is known as a unisexual flower. Very common example is a papaya, then watermelon. So these are the common example of the unisexual flower, right? So this is the simple information about the angiospermic plant. Now come to the part of the flower. When we talk about the part of a flower, so I told you there is a four part of a flower, that is a sepal, petals, androecium and gynoecium. Among these four parts, sepal and petal is what? They are the accessory whorls, means they participate, they actually help in this process. And for example, if we talk about the sepal is what? Flower is going to be hold to the thalamus by what? By the sepal. Then petals are colored in the appearance actually, and when the insects are attracted to due to that color, due to that nectar, so they are carrying with them the pollen grains, and in this way this petal is helping in this process. So basically, if we talk about the sexual mode of reproduction in flowers, so there is a two things that is required, that is what? Androecium and gynoecium, right? Before go to this, we should know about the structure of the flower also. That is in your exam, comes in your exam always. So what is this? This is the So this is what? This is a structure of a flower. In that I am showing that calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium, all the parts are visible over here. And the flower is attached, or it's present in a solen base that we call as a thalamus, right? And this part, green part that I have shown you, this is what? This is what? This is the petals, right? And these are the sepals. Along with that, from the base of the solen, there is a in the center, the structure is known as what? Carpel. or you can say also gynoecium. So this is the part of a reproductive part of a flower that we call as a carpel, and along with that this blue part is known as the stamen, or you can say androecium. So what is the difference? Nothing is different over here between the androecium and the stamen, or you can say carpel and the gynoecium. Difference is what? When we talk about the single gynoecium, that time we call it as a carpel, and when there is a bunch of the carpel, it is not like that every flower is having a just one carpel. There is a more than one carpel is also present in some of the flowers. So in that case we call it as a gynoecium. Means group of the carpel is a gynoecium, group of the stamen is the androecium. So now these are the four parts of the flower. Out of these four parts, I have told you this stamen and this carpel is a reproductive part of the flower. So that participate where? In the formation or in the process of the reproduction. Now when we talk about the stamen is what? Stamen is a bilobed and structure, and it is having a one filament also. So this part of the bilobe part of the stamen is known as the anther, and this is known as a filament, and it is connected by connective. So this is the structure of what? Actually the stamen, right? And if we talk about the structure of what? Is structure of the carpel. Carpel is what? Carpel, the main part of the carpel is known as a stigma, right? And after that the long part is known as the style, and the base solen part of the stigma carpel is known as the ovary. So this is what? This is the ovary, this is the style, and this is what? This is the stigma, right? What happens? Stigma is the receiving part. Now, and inside the anther there is the presence of a pollen grains. Number of pollen grains are there, and when this anther lobe breaks, so this pollen will come out from this anther lobe, and by air, by any agent, they will reach to where? To the stigma of the flower. So stigma is the receiving part of the pollen for the pollen grains, right? So stigma is what? Stigma is the receiving part, means pollen will fall where? On the stigma of a carpel. And after that the style is the part that connects stigma to the ovary. Ovary is the part that is carrying the ovule. Children, listen very carefully what I am saying. Ovary is the part that is carrying ovule, and ovule is the structure that is having a egg cell. So where does the egg cell present in the flower? In the carpel flower, or you can say in the flower, where? In the carpel, so in the ovule. Basically there is a presence of a egg cell. In the pollen grain there is a presence of what? Pollen grains are carrying the male gametes. So male gametes come through this pollen grain, reaches to the stigma, and then finally by the pollen tube they come to the ovule and fuse with the egg cell. So this is all about the mode of sexual reproduction in flower, right? So now basically what happens when the pollen grains are passing? When pollen grains reaches to the stigma, so that time when it reach by any agent, right? By any agent. That agents are known as the pollinating agents, right? And the process is known as actually pollination. So pollination is two types. Pollination is basically means what is pollination? Transfer of the pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the carpel. That process is known as the pollination. Pollination is two types: self pollination and the cross pollination, right? Self pollination and the cross pollination. So self pollination means this transfer. Basically it is happen where? In the bisexual flower. So bisexual flower where when there is a transfer of the male gamete through the pollen grain within the same flower, right? So that time it is known as a self pollination, and when it take place from one flower to the another flower of the same plant, or you can say when it take place from the one flower to the another flower of the different plant, also that time we call it as a cross pollination. So when the process, when there is a transfer of pollen grains from the flower, so to the from the pollen to the from the anther to the carpel, so that time the process is known as a pollinating agent. process is known as a pollination, and it comes through the pollinating agent, right? So this is all about your pollination. Now what happens after that, when it reaches to the carpel? So this is what? This is your carpel. Right? And this is stigma. So pollen grains fall where? Pollen grains fall over the stigma, right? Over the stigma, and from there is a release of a chemical from the stigma, and by this there is a formation of pollen tubes take place through the pollen grain, and finally it will reach to where? To the ovule, right? Inside the ovule there is a structure that we call as a embryo sac. So embryo sac is what? Embryo sac is a 8-cell structure. It is having a antipodal cell, synergid cell, egg cell, and polynucleate. So this is what? This is the egg cell, right? So after that there is a fusion of the, when the pollen grains are coming. Right now I have told you also that pollen grains is carrying what? Male gametes. So there are the 2 male gametes coming through this pollen tube and reaches to the embryo sac, right? In the embryo sac there is a 1 egg, and in the center there is 2 polar nuclei, right? So one of the male gamete, so this is the structure that I am large over here, this is the embryo sac actually, right? This is what? This is the embryo sac. So one of the male gamete inside this embryo sac, one of the male gamete inside of this embryo sac fuse and make the structure that we call as a zygote, right? And one of the male gamete fuse with this polar, 2 of the polar nuclei, and make the primary endosperm nucellus, right? So now you can see over here, what is that? There is a 2-time fertilization take place. One time one male gamete fuse with the egg, and one time one male gamete fuse with this 2 polar nuclei. So here is a fusion of what? Here is the fusion of the 2n plus n. Means this is the ploidy of the gamete. I have told you when the gamete formation take place, they are haploid in number. So 2n plus 2n is equal to 3n. So primary endosperm nucellus is 3n and zygote is 2n. This is the diploid stage of the zygote, and this one is known as the triploid. Right, and here 2 times of fertilization take place in the angiospermic plant. So that's why this is known as the double fertilization. So again I repeat, in the angiospermic plant there is a 2 times of fusion take place of the male gamete, and that's why we call it as a double fertilization. Right, so this is all about your today class. What is that? How many parts are present in a flower? Which part is responsible for the reproduction? How does fertilization take place? What is the meaning of double fertilization? All the things I have told you. So I hope you will get all the things very clearly, and next time we will meet with some other interesting topic of this chapter. Thank you.